Okay, there you go. And we are back. How the hair are you? So we left the last segment and wanted to kind of prep you for the next topic of discussion, because yesterday we were discussing just what's going on in the cosmetic field and in the industry. And I didn't realize that there is something that a lot of people really do need to know about in terms of the influence of what's going on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube in particular, and all of the teachings that people have in terms of hair care and recommendations and just the information that people get off of the internet. And so there was a discussion, and you were talking about it from a cosmetologist standpoint in terms of business. So I want you to share with the listeners the impact of just the movement for people to use social media as their new teaching method or learning method and teaching method. So go ahead.
Social media has taken the hair industry by storm, because you have so many people doing infomercials, YouTubes, all these different types of videos, teaching them what they do with their hair. But what most people don't understand is half of them that's doing the YouTube commercials, they've been working on their hair for years. All of a sudden they found something that works. You know, they've done the exact same thing that a lot of the consumers are out here doing, trying to find something that works for them. And it takes time, so they think just because it works for them, they want to do all of these, they want to do all this blogging and all these other things to help people with their hair. People are actually listening to non-cosmetologists, to consumers, to help them with their hair, and they're having more problems than ever. You know, but then they're buying more product, they're doing more things at home, so they decided not to come to the salon. So it has hit the industry really hard too for a lot of hairstylists.
Right. So when you say the business is hit hard,
yes,
what do you mean by that?
Meaning, if you have a client come in every 2 weeks and she's now doing her own hair, you may not see her for 3 or 4 months. She might come once a year, or she might just call you for some tips. You know, A lot of people are doing that right now.
So you guys allow them to get free
Well, I'm a teacher by choice.
So yes,
I
but you
love
have
to
your
teach.
clientele though.
I do have I have a awesome clientele, and I have to just, extremely blessed, because I targeted a business clientele. This is one field that we have. The field of cosmetology is very wide, very, very broad, and you can do so much. And one of the things we need to do is be multi-talented. One of the issues is, if you're not multi-talented, they're gonna share hop. If you can't braid, if you can't so-called weave, I don't do the weaving. I know how. I don't glue, I don't sew. I know how, but I choose not to do it because most people who want it already have issues with their hair. And sewing it and gluing it is not going to rectify the issue or cause the hair to grow faster or things like that. So I'm also a braider. I can braid, but I am a licensed cosmetologist. You have a lot of people out here who are not multi-talented. All they do is shortcuts and relaxers, and they feel if they're not doing a relaxer, they can't make their money. We just need to branch out and do more things and be able to accommodate our clientele so that they won't go other places. So they won't have that need to go someplace else and have that need to look at YouTube because they just at their wits' end and want to do something different.
So what I don't really understand is, you hear a lot of people say that they are not happy with the state of their hair.
Yeah.
There are also a lot of people who say they don't want to be bothered with their hair. So you haven't been impacted, but there are stylists who have been. What do you recommend for those stylists? What should they be doing that they're not doing so that they can have the model that you have in terms of keeping or having clientele and keeping them?
Yeah, well, one thing for sure, you have to be on your knowledge. Knowledge is key. It's very important. You have to know product. You have to know hair. You have to know the difference of what you're able to do and what you need help with as a cosmetologist. If a person is having a problem with their hair, it's probably internal, it's probably color, it's probably something they're doing at home. It could be menopause, it could be several things. If they need a dermatologist and you see scalp problems, you need to send them to a dermatologist. A lot of people, I think, don't open up their, well, how can I say it, their range of options to be able to call and ask for help for other people, like different dermatologists, doctors like yourself, you know, who was a hair scientist. I've been blessed with knowing you and several dermatologists that I send my clients to. And I do that because I know if I have a problem and I need help, I just need help. Mm-hmm. But I look at my clients, I analyze their hair. I'm not going to just see hair shedding. Just regular shedding is one thing. When the hair is coming out in patches is another. Alopecia is another whole issue. All of these things that go on that we see in our chair, we need to talk about. You need to notice it. You need to try to correct it and help them. So you need to also talk to them about it. Talk to them about their diets and everything else, because all of that plays a part in it. And you have to know hair. You have to know product. And I think one of the reasons why my clients stay in my chair, because they love the fact that when they ask me a question, first of all, I'm able to answer it. Secondly, if they want to change their hairstyle, we're able to do that. If I see that their hair is shedding or something, I usually know it before them.
So let me ask you, you think that the stylists who are having problems now are the ones who don't stay educated?
Oh, most of all. Oh, yes, most definitely.
So you think that there's a correlation between those who actually stay on the forefront of knowledge and those who keep their clientele?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that helps. Yes, it does.
So I would think just maintaining your license and being current, that will give you enough education, or you...
No. No.
And I was saying that because I knew the answer to that.
No. I can't. Why would you say that?
No,
yes.
I knew the answer to that. But what people assume is, since you have to have continuing educational units to
and that's a way to get around that. People get around that. Not only do people get around that, after you've been a hairstylist for so long, like I've been a hairstylist now 30 years. I've had my license for 30 years. My daughter's 33. I got my license when she was one. She wasn't even one yet. Mm-hmm. She wasn't even one. So I've had my license. After 30 years, you don't no longer have to do continuing ed. Like, they just mail you your license. Mm-hmm. Okay? I believe in education because I want to stay abreast with everything that's going on in the industry, because that's how interested I am in. I'm still in full swing with having a clientele. So my clientele, they need help, you know, especially when they're going through different changes. The changes of just us aging and medication and things like that. You don't even have to have medication in order for your hair to change. Okay, your hair changes with the weather, and what people don't understand is, you know, hair is protein, it's keratin. When people look at you have to understand it's endowment, it's for beautification or protection. This is exactly what hair is for. People live without hair every day. So when it comes to you looking at your cuticles, your nails are also protein keratin. Just comes out in a different form, right? So people look at their cuticles and look at their nails. The weather is dry and brittle, and your nails are dry and brittle. They're breaking. Most of the times when your nails are having issues, your hair is having issues too, hair and scalp. And people don't look at that. They're like, what is going on with my hair? Why is it itching so? Why is it so dry? Okay, your hair and your body change with the climate. You change with the climate. And people don't look at that either. Mm-hmm. You know. Mm-hmm. So that's why I said knowledge is key. You have to... I've talked to many, many hairstylists, and they aren't able to answer questions. And I say all the time, you need to study. You need to take classes. And I believe in taking classes. I believe in studying, and I believe I'm going to continue to do it because of what I do. And because of what I enjoy doing, because I want my clientele happy. I want them to come back. I want long term. People have been in my chair for 20 and 30 years. You want that. You want people to make an appointment for the year. My clients schedule their appointments for the year. Mm-hmm. So when I have someone new come in, they say, well, can I get an appointment this week? I said, no, darling, I'm sorry. 2 weeks down the line, I don't have anything available for 2 weeks. Well, Deirdre, my client's scheduled for the year. I need you to just get on the schedule. Mm-hmm. Let me know when you're not coming, you know. So yeah, it depends on a lot how you deal your business too. Then you want people in there real long. You want to be efficient. You want to have the knowledge. You don't want to have them there all day. You know. So the atmosphere has to be a certain way.
So, okay.
All that plays a part.
Well, yes,
clients.
I understand because while I don't like doing hair, but I feel like I'm forced to do it because I'm cheap. And I just refuse to either spend gas or money on something that I think I can do, except now is an exception. I know I have to do something because this is not working for me. I don't like looking the way I look right now. But usually that's not the case. Mm-hmm. But I say that to say I'm the type of client that you would get when I have a certain event that I need to go to, mm-hmm. or if I grow my hair out natural and I feel that it is in my schedule to be able to come to have somebody else be bothered with it, then I would come. But I mean, all of that is circumstantial. It depends on mm-hmm. what's going on with me. Right. So I'm definitely not the ideal client for someone right now, but it's not because I'm looking at YouTube videos trying to do it myself. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, at one time.
Oh, yeah. That
And
was before kids. That was
a
long time ago. But absolutely,
yeah.
I need.
So you do have people. I've always had a little model, little thing I go by. You know, for every one I lose, I gain two, and that's something I say to myself all the time. Because you have people who venture off and decide to do something else. You have those that you lose because they decide to cut off and just wear natural and curly themselves, and they just, coming back product from you. I mean, but they're still your clients. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's why education is key, and it's very important because even though they're not in my chair anymore, they can still call me. They still come and buy product. They still come by and see me and say, "Do you just want to see my hair and let you see what's going on with it?" So on, so on, so on. Mm-hmm. Then I have some who just come and get color. They get color every 8, 12, 16 weeks. You know, I have some get color twice a year. Mm-hmm. You know, so when you have a wide range of options and talents that you can give to your clients, it just opens you up more to be able to accommodate more people.
So your
on
advice,
different levels.
So your advice for a struggling cosmetologist or hairstylist who wants to build their clientele is 1, get education.
Yes.
2, know the hair and know the product.
No hair, no product. I say that all the time. You need to know hair. You need to know product.
So why don't they know hair and they know product and they've gone to cosmetology school? I mean, they are updated on their license, and I want to hit on that because you said that there are ways to get around getting a license, and that, I mean that horrifies someone. Yeah. I mean, I'm very, very fortunate to be in the position that I'm in because I network and collaborate with very, very talented and seasoned cosmetologists. So I know who I can go to get some help from a wide range.
That license is being renewed for real.
Yes, exactly, because I'm seeing them in the classes, I'm teaching them. So it's, I know that they're getting educated. And I know the talk. I mean, I know what is BS, and I know what is not.
You have a lot of people who get continuing ed, but you have to understand the classes they choose to go to. That's what I'm talking about, first of all. They'll go to classes. They already know the people. You know, they're doing the same thing they was doing last year and the year before. They just sitting there just to get their hours and just call it a day. So what I've noticed over the years is by me being a cosmetology teacher, my license is on the off year of the regular cosmetologist. Okay? So the cosmetologists need 14 continuing ed hours. So that year their license is due, the beauty supplies jump on having like 15, 20 classes. And they'll jump on and have 15, 20 classes at 3 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours. Right. And of course you got to build them up. So I even know one beauty supply that allowed them to come in and buy a membership. And you just get the rest of your classes. They're not free because you pay for it up front, basically. Okay? But they think because they pay for it up front and they get a little discount, they have those classes. So you come to those classes, I don't believe when you come into my class. I teach at these beauty supplies. So I don't believe in them coming late. I'm real serious about what I teach when I'm teaching. But when I'm in the beauty supplies teaching, I see what they do. They come back and they want to sit in the lobby and talk. Or they want to sit in their car on a cell phone. You know, things like that. And I'm like, okay, if you don't come in here and get what I'm trying to offer you, How are you going to get better? This is why you've been in 7 salons in 2 years. This is the things I hear. This is why your clientele has went from, say, $1,000 a week, and you work 3 days a week, to $500, or to $200, or now you got to give deals because you got to bring the people in. So now you're doing $35 hairstyles again. No. Your self-worth. What do you feel you're worth, and your knowledge? If you don't put anything in it, you're not going to feel like anything.
Right. Well, so if someone wants to build their clientele and actually have business so you can make money in the profession that you obviously paid money to become licensed, and
people are looking for information along with getting their hair done.
That's
they
one of the things that I wanted to.
They want to be educated on their hair. They want to know and feel comfortable and feel good about the person that's doing their hair. And if you can't answer any questions or help them, why should they stay in your chair?
Now, that's an interesting concept, because I have heard stories about hairstylists who make their own concoctions, then they are asked questions. Well, what is this, and what does this do, or is this something that I can have? And they don't want to tell them. They don't want to share the information.
That's just so crazy.
And my perspective is, I would never ever go to someone who would not give me that information. But I'm a control freak. So wait, that just might work with my personality. But I mean, you have to let me know what you're putting on my hair if I ask. And you can't say that you're the expert and you know what you're doing, because I just want to know.
And you have people that have bottles up there with no labels. They take their stuff and put them in empty bottles to keep people from knowing what they're using, which is the craziest thing to me.
Well, but there are hairstylists who have that, or who use that system of keeping knowledge away from people, and they have a full clientele. As a matter of fact, people flock to them because they think they have the magic potion that is going to work
until they start having some issues, and then they start looking other places and doing other things, and like, okay, well, I think I did a little better with my hair at home, so I think I'm going to stay home this week. I mean, I know people who do that, who's had full clienteles and struggling now. Was struggling 10 years ago, off and on, depending on. And then, like, one time someone said to me, well, you know what, you always have an on and off. You always have seasons where people don't come. And so, okay, if you're a professional and you handle your business like you should, okay, like I explained earlier, and you target a business clientele. I mean, you don't let just anybody walk in your salon and just sit around and wait and just take people constantly, or you got 5 people meeting you at the door at 8 o'clock in the morning. All of that is just craziness to me. If you give them a schedule, give them an appointment time, and you abide by what you say and do what you're supposed to do, they tend to have more respect for you and come. Your knowledge, very important, like I keep saying, and I'm going to keep saying that because it's very important. They're looking for information to help them. And if you don't have those things, and if you're not doing it, you will tend to lose. I never understood people say, well, it's Christmas time, ain't nobody coming to get their hair done. Well, it's school time, they buying uniforms and stuff like that. We don't have nobody. I got 2 today. And I'm like, no, my clients still come.
Well, not only do they still come, so I have had a couple of events where I have definitive proof that before Christmas, even though people are buying gifts for other people and, money is strapped, they are going and filling the salons because I cannot get a hold of some professionals. I'm like, okay, and they're like, I am just too busy. I'm too busy. And it starts in November and it does not end until after the new year. It don't even, someone is saying that they
Valentine's Day. It don't happen until February. It don't slow down to February.
Oh, really? Okay.
Literally.
Well, I've been able to get some people this in January, so I guess I consider myself lucky because, man, Christmas time. Well, December.
They are in line to get their hair done. And I never understood that. No, the book is kind of low now because people buying Christmas presents. Okay, but what type of people are you dealing with? I'm not understanding. Okay, get them on your book, put them on a book for the year. You know, let them know, come every 2 weeks at this time, I'm ready for you, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be right here, ready to curl, shampoo, everything, you know. So, yeah.
Well,
I just never understood that when people would say that.
Wow. Well, I'm hoping that that gets turned around for very serious licensed cosmetologists, because if you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, there are people who need you.
Professionalism.
Oh, yeah, you have to. Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if there are people who are respectful of time.
Yes.
They're going to choose someone
Yes.
who is respectful of time over someone who comes
Right.
in late or keeps them there for a very long time, even though they may actually like what you do.
While you're there. Yeah. Oh, and do all of that. Yeah. 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 I'll never understand any of it.
See, I don't deal with people like that. I couldn't do it. I can't.
Yeah. When your client is there, they should be serviced.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they should be serviced on
Yeah,
time.
because they're paying money.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I tell my clients all the time, I don't think I don't need you all. I need you all. This is how I eat at the end of the day. You know, so they were like, Dee, you know, cosmetologists don't say that. Hairstylists don't say that. I said, well, I'm a firm believer. I need you all. If I didn't have you all, I would not be where I am today. I would not have learned the things that I've learned. Because you need live models.
So in other words, respect is also something that's important. So,
have to have it.
Okay, so education, know your product, know your hair, respect for your client. And then I'm just going to add in there transparency, because that's just something that I feel is important. And that means transparency and helping them out. And one of the reasons why I asked you, because you said sometimes clients call just for advice. And I said, oh, you don't pay for that? And so I also wanted to say that you are helping them. And so they know that you have their back, and that means a lot too. So you're dedicated to them, and that is something that is extremely important. So if there are any licensed cosmetologists out there who don't have the business that you want to have, just take it, take
to
it
the
in,
next level.
Take it in, and know that you, like you said, have to take it to the next level.
Yeah, you have to take it to the next level.
All right.
I'm telling you, you start educating them in the chair, baby, they will be there.
Right. All right, so we are at our last break. The show will close at 10 minutes to 12, but I do want to get one last break in before we go into the next segment. But one of the things I want to talk about, since we have you here, and another thing that you shared a long time ago that really stuck out with me, because I want to commend you for being able to know that sometimes you have to adjust, even though you've had all these years of experience, because products, techniques, instruments, all of that change. It changes with time. And so just having a mindset of being receptive to change, even though you may have been doing something for a long time, for a number of years. So our next segment, I want you to talk about when you said that, well, and you probably don't know what I'm talking about yet, but I just want the listeners to know that there are times where you have to humble yourself and actually change what you do.
I know exactly.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
And so when we come back, Ms. Deirdre will be talking about some experiences that she had and some changes that she's had to make as a professional, just because she notices things and knows that she wants what's best for her clients. So you have to change what you do. So with that, we'll be back in 10 minutes and see you on the other side.
Follow that plan.
Is it? We'll be back. 10 minutes.